Welcome to the Flipside. I'm Melissa.
Yeah, I'm Eric. And Melissa, glad to have you today.
I'm excited to be
the
here.
The hostess with the mostest.
Okay.
Yes. All right.
Awesome. Well, we have some good questions. That was an amazing message. And we've had some questions come in. So are you ready?
Awesome. Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's do it. We're here. Might as well.
Yeah. All right. So the first one says, more doesn't make me okay. It gets me in debt. But others I go to at church will do some very expensive things. How can I keep up? What am I supposed to do?
Yeah, that is a tension many of us feel, right? That we look around and we have people in our lives, friends, and they have nicer stuff than we do. They go on better trips, they drive better cars, they live in bigger houses. That is a reality. So here's the first thing I would say is that most of us, if not all of us, feel this tension. We feel the tension of, I look around at church, which is supposed to be the place that helps me grow in my faith, and I see all this stuff, and it's hard. And it just is hard. So I just want to name that it's hard. That's why he tells us godliness with contentment is great gain. You notice, like, there's nothing in the Bible that we're commanded to do that, like, comes, like, supernaturally. I mean, that it comes naturally. It's always supernatural, right? So that's why we have to fight for contentment. So that fight for contentment is real. Yeah. It's real. I remember this in our life, and I won't put you on the spot, but feel free to just jump in. Hey, Melissa, why don't you tell me about your financial life? I'm not going to put you on the spot. But so I've been a pastor my whole life. And when we graduated from college and we, like all of our friends graduated, we basically were all like at the same level, like all of our friends who weren't pastors. And then as like time went on, most of our friends just like went like this, and we just sort of went like this. And there are definitely times where it's hard. And so my encouragement is, first of all, to recognize you're not alone with the struggle with contentment, but it is always about our heart. It is. It just is. And so there's no way to escape that. And if God just gives us all different amounts of money to manage, some people just real good at making money. Yeah. They just are. Yeah. And not others. So that's the first thing I want you to say to you. And then the more doesn't make me okay, it gets me in debt. That's why I can't encourage you enough to settle that more isn't going to help, so that you can resist making choices that will put you in debt. And it's hard. It's not just church, it's everywhere we live. So what are you supposed to do? Number one, recognize you're not alone in your fight for contentment. Number two, I would say acknowledge what God has given you to steward. I'd say number three, figure out, and we'll talk about this in another question in just a minute, figure out what it would mean to live on what he's given you. And then the fourth one would be, if you're like, gosh, I just really want more, or I feel like I need more, because there are people who have like real challenges. There are people who have real financial challenges. Maybe you get together with a friend and you brainstorm about how to make more money. Maybe it's a different job. Maybe it's a side hustle, but maybe you need to pay off some debt. And so you like just need to figure out how to get some more money in and not spend it. Anyway, any thoughts on that? Anything you want to add?
I'll be honest. I faced that when I came here. So I'm originally from the Midwest, and when I moved here, cost of living was like way more expensive. And so it was a struggle for me to reevaluate my spending habits that I was used to. And I've had some major moments of like, I need Jireh right now. I need God to provide. And I think there's kind of a beauty in that when we stop and say, God's given me everything I need. And finding contentment in that. It's not easy. It's not easy. There have been moments on the floor in tears, but I've learned to get through that and being thankful for what I have. And God has always provided and made a way. And having that discipline to not get into debt is hard too. But when you think about what's on the other side of that, if you can maintain what you have, it's amazing. It really is. And God, he finds ways to bless you that... there were days I didn't know I was going to make it, but. And
you can, if you're in debt, don't feel condemned by that. And I would encourage you to come up with a plan to pay it off. Right? Yeah. You are where you are. We all are where we are. We can only deal with what we have. Don't let your past condemn you, but look honestly at where you're at and say, okay, open-handed, God, what would you have me do? And then make a plan, which I think I can see the next question there sort of goes to it.
Absolutely. I love this question. Asking for budget advice that I tried to stick to one, but I barely make it 2 weeks before falling off the wagon. That's tough. First, bravo that you're wanting to take that step and you're wanting to make a plan. You recognize the need.
Yes.
That's wisdom. So A+ there. But
I actually have really specific. I have a really specific answer to this question. I can just tell you what worked for us. Okay, what worked for us was Dave Ramsey, Financial Peace University, and the envelope system. So if you're not familiar with the envelope system, when you're trying to stay on a budget, and I know it seems crazy in 2022, but I can tell you when we did it, it worked. And that was you get paid and you give first, and then you have your budget, right? All your budget categories, and you get cash from the bank, and you put the cash in envelopes, literal envelopes. You can use paper envelopes. You can go on Etsy and get you some cute envelopes if that's inspiring. Remember when Ashley ordered our little pink envelopes? We still got them, right? Yeah. And you can get them, you label them. This is for food, this is for clothes, this is for my rent, this is for whatever, car repairs, Christmas, vacation. You put all the cash in the envelopes, and there is something very powerful about spending cash out of an envelope and watching the envelope decrease. That is the best budgeting advice I can give you. The second best budgeting advice is then to keep track of where all your money goes.
That's great.
Because almost always we are not aware of where the money goes. None of us should get to the end of the month and wonder, where'd our money go? We should have written it down and be able to see, oh, here's where it went. And then we can decide, man, that was a great choice, or oh, snap, I need to not do that again.
Absolutely.
But so envelopes, write it down. And then if this is new to you, man, Financial Peace University is your jam. Like, get in FPU. So you can go to short-term groups on our website and sign up for FPU. I know they're doing it in Norfolk. I know we're working on getting a Financial Peace University class here at Lynn Haven. If you have financial stress in your life and you've never done Financial Peace University, please, please, please do Financial Peace University. It will change your financial life.
Yeah.
So
Dave Ramsey's amazing.
It's amazing.
Amazing. He has some great books out there. And so I love that you guys are going to offer that here, because that's a great program to get involved with.
Yeah. Anything that stands out to that question about the wagon?
Yeah, it can be hard. You have to find what works for you too. Like, I know some people are spreadsheet people. Some people need to write it. Like, I actually use a calendar where I need to see everything, like when my bills are due and when I get paid, and do I have birthdays coming up? Do I have special events?
Right.
Like, planning that out ahead of time helps me stay focused and kind of plan a little bit better too. Yeah. But I like the money envelope thing. Just physically see your money disappear.
Seriously, if you're like, I can't stay, like, if I try to stick to one, but I barely make it 2 weeks before falling off the wagon, I'm telling you, cash envelopes, it will help. Yeah. It will help you to not spend that money.
It connects you, I think, with money. It's too easy to swipe a card today. We're just like, I just swipe this card and I own this thing. Like, I don't think we connect it with our bank accounts as much anymore. It's too easy.
Oh, here's another idea on this. I have a buddy locally, DL, his name is Pastor DL Williams, Piney Grove Baptist Church. He wrote a book called something like the 40-day financial fast.
Oh.
And so, I mean, I can tell you the point of the book. Yeah. You should buy his book. Go on Amazon, if you have the money, DL Williams' book. You take 40 days and you don't buy anything.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, you buy food, but you don't eat out. You don't go to the movies.
So nothing.
You don't spend any money except for, like, literally your bills and what it takes to eat at home.
That's
you don't get your hair done. You don't.
Oh, hold on.
Can you go 40 days? Do you get your hair done more than every 40 days?
Yeah,
maybe. Okay,
maybe.
well,
I'll
you
navigate.
Calendar. But we've done this before, and no Amazon, no whatever.
Wow.
But if you're trying to get in order, it will help. It will help. You just take 40. And then see what happens in your heart. So
it's a great way to build those discipline muscles, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. All right.
That was great. Next question we have. Oh, this is tough. My husband and I want different things. I want to downsize our home life, but he refuses to even discuss this. I am frugal. He is not. How do I handle this? That's a big one in marriage.
That's a big one. They say money, sex, and children are the three things most couples fight about. Short story while I think about this answer to this question. Ashley and I were dating, and we flew from college in Chicago. We actually flew into D.C., and then her parents picked us up, and we were driving back down to Virginia Beach from D.C. And so her mom and dad are in the front, and Ashley and I are in the back, and it's we're driving at night. I just remember this so clearly. And we're talking, blah, blah, blah. And they knew we were getting serious, so I don't remember how many times I'd met them. And somehow one of them, somebody in the car says that money, sex, and children are the three things that most couples fight about. And I said to my future father-in-law, well, as long as we have a lot of all three, I think we'll be all right. It's a true story. I actually
How was the
did
rest of that trip?
Well, I was glad. As soon as I said it, I was glad I was sitting in the back seat. I was glad it was dark. They're kind people, so they let it go. Okay. Two things for you. Number one, I would say, can you talk about what you want longer term? Like, what do you want in 10 years? What do you want in 20 years? And dream together. Because what I want this month or this year can be very stressful. That's very tangible. But if we can talk about what we want 20 years from now, then that I'm just trying to help you find a place of agreement 20 years from now. What do we want? And then if you can agree on what your financial future looks like, then you can back into the steps that could help you get there.
Yeah.
The second thing I would say is, can you agree on or discuss principles rather than specifics? Like not going into debt might be a principle, because I can't tell from the question if you have, like, are you drowning in debt? Do you have lots of extra money? Are you living paycheck to paycheck? But they're really big paychecks, or they're really little paychecks? Like, if you have plenty of money and you're just like, I want to downsize, and he doesn't, that's just a normal thing you just got to deal with. If you're drowning in debt, that's a different question. Yeah. Again, thinking 20 years out, what do we want for each other in 20 years? Or even to retirement. I don't know. Yeah. Again, I don't know how long this is, but think about retirement. We meet with our financial advisor every year. And years ago, he told me, you're going to need to work till you're 70. So I'm like, great. So I plan to work till I'm 70, and I'm excited about it. I'm trying to do everything I can to stay relevant. I got 24 more years. But it helps us to think about the future. Because are we saving for retirement? Because if you're thinking, we're not saving for retirement, he's like, we're going to be fine. Go to a financial advisor. Are you going to be able to retire? So that's just really, nitty gritty. Number one, look out to retirement, look out into the future, and agree on some goals. What do you want when you retire? And then secondly, can you talk about principles like staying out of debt, like living on a budget? That can get you started. And then honestly, these conversations really come down to intimacy, because money's really personal. Mm-hmm. And so this might be something to go talk to a counselor about. Or we have folks here at church on our care team who would love to talk to you. I'd be happy to talk to you. It's not my strongest. Counseling isn't my strongest thing. And so I love you too much to say, come talk to me. But we do have people who are really good at it, who can help you work through this. Because it's a big deal. Yeah. It's a big deal. So
absolutely.
So that's what I would say to that one.
Yeah.
Do you want to do, I'll tell you what, why don't we do the last question from last week? And then do you know how to flip back over to Facebook to see if there's any more?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Perfect.
It's your first time, so I didn't want to.
It's okay, no.
You were obviously well-trained. Melissa.
I appreciate that you're looking out for me. And
I requested you to do this, so I want to make sure that you're succeeding.
Gosh, you
yes,
requested me?
I did. I was like, hey, get Melissa to do it. Okay, I'll do this. Why don't you do that last question? Ask the last question, and then I'll answer it.
Yeah, so this was from last week regarding the Holy Spirit. They want to know, how do you explain the Holy Spirit to someone who has special needs?
Wow, that's a great question. I have no idea how you would do that, because I have no idea what level of special needs we're talking about. The idea of the Trinity, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, is complex to the smartest people on the planet. So how would you say that? I would simply, again, maybe I would say when Jesus died and rose again, and then when he ascended to heaven, he didn't want us to be alone. And so he sent the Holy Spirit to come and be with us. And the Holy Spirit is with us. He's also called the Spirit of Jesus. That might be easier for someone with special needs. But I would focus probably more on practically that the Holy Spirit is to be with us, that he corrects us, that he encourages us, that he reveals Jesus to us, and that's how Jesus is with us now on earth while we wait for Jesus to return. So that would probably be, but I have no idea if that's helpful or not. God bless you, and that's just what I got.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Any new questions come in, ma'am?
No other new questions. I think those were some good, solid questions that kind of all tie together a little bit, and you handled them very well.
Melissa, it's great to be with you today. Thanks for singing.
Oh, well,
great.
thank you. Thank you for having
Living
me.
Hope. Is that usually a dude song?
I think so. Yeah, it's Phil Wickham. So
yeah, come on, way to crush it. It was great.
Thank you.
Love it. It was great.
Thank you.
Great singing today.
Awesome.
All right. Well, if Jason were here, he'd say YouTube, subscribe, rate, review, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Y'all know all that. We just love you,
Yeah.
and we'll see you next week on the flip side.
Awesome.
See ya.
Bye.